a long day.
No.
No.
Okay, so we'll call the September 2025 Cedar Point Parks and Recreation Board meeting to order. We'll start with roll call.
Abby Desborough.
Here.
Jeff Fisher.
Here.
Eddie Adams. Aaron Gadberry. Joe Newton. Tabby Flynn. Kylie Smith.
Call for agenda additions and corrections.
I have none.
Approval of August, September claims.
Curious, the $400 for DNR, Division of Water. Is that
Yep.
for like
Permitting.
permitting?
Yep. $200 for application.
Unless there's any other questions, seek a motion. Claims.
Motion to approve August, September claims for now to $109,141.06.
All in favor? Opposed? That's approved. Approval of August minutes of reports.
Motion to approve is presented.
All in favor? Opposed? Reports are approved. Comments from the public? Comments from board members, please?
We have a couple comments after you guys are done. Nothing? All right. My couple comments here. Actually, I have one. Rich and Tavia both have one or two. Overlook starts hopefully pretty soon. We got a few things in permitting we need to get done. We're going to petition the zoning board. The offset of the existing buildings is too close to the right-of-way. Should have had a zero offset. So we'll have to go to the zoning board here in early November to get that changed so that the overlook structure, the restroom, and the shelter are all zoned appropriately. So we'll get that done. In the meantime, we're going to start the walkway and the gangway and things for the overlook as soon as we get hopefully get the zoning done. Then the overlook will finish up and be done for this calendar year. So it was ARPA money. We have to have it done this year. So that's all I have.
So tomorrow we are excited to welcome all of the fourth graders of the Vigo County School Corporation for the long-awaited mini Pioneer Days. So that starts tomorrow and goes through until Friday. Brian and the maintenance crew have been working really hard getting the village ready for both mini Pioneer Days and Pioneer Days, which Pioneer Days, if you didn't know already, is going to be October 4th and 5th from 10 to 5 p.m. both days. So you all are welcome to come, and we would love to see you there.
We are doing our walkthrough and punch list on the building on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We're really excited about that. They got us water today. The other one's an old business, isn't it?
No, you still got October 17th.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, October 17th, we're doing our grand opening ribbon cutting. We're going to do, it'll be at 6 o'clock. We're going to do light refreshments. You guys are all invited. We're going to do some night rides and going to have some open mic night and go from there and see how things work out. So, love to have y'all come out.
Building looks awesome. If you've not seen it yet, let us know. We'll sure get you in there as long as the floors are dry. Take a look. So I think that's all we have.
Move on to the capital improvement plan.
Yeah, so, sorry. With the weather being dry, we started work again on disc golf at Prairie Creek, so hopefully the rain will hold off and we'll try to get that finished up. And then, not so good news, Hawthorne Park Saturday about 4 a.m. lost power to half the park, so working with Duke Energy to try to get that all put back online.
That was,
No, campgrounds is about the only thing open. Yeah, they thought it did for a while, but it's all online, so
we don't believe there'll be any cost to us. I think it's on Duke Energy, right?
as of now, yep.
Just a waiting game, I guess. I think that's all we got for capital improvements. All right, no old business. MVets is officially out. They were out on time per the last agreement. We have the keys. The power is off, as per everything we discussed last board meeting. So they've got a nice new facility. I'm supposed to go visit an open house they're going to have here in a month or so. But we've been cleaning around AMVETS. Explorer Wabashiki was last weekend, so wanted to clean up a little bit before that come, and try and get rid of some trees and some fence and different things of that nature. But right now it just kind of sits idle till we figure out kind of what direction we want to go or any opportunities present itself. So that's AMVETS. Any questions on that part? Somebody wanted, I think it was Aaron, wanted a tour of AMVETS. So if we bring plenty of light, we can get in there anytime and have a tour. So yeah, they got way more stuff than I thought they'd get. All the plastic tables, all the chairs, there's still a pool table in there if anybody, if we want a pool table in our shop somewhere. But other than that, there's a lot of the old chairs in the back part are still there, but everything else is pretty well gone. So yeah, they were hauling for 4 straight days. Guys said there were just trucks and trailers in and out of there for all day long. So any other questions on that? Let me know if you want another tour or a tour. On old business here, Griffin Bike Park vendor, I believe Rich is going to talk about.
So we've talked to Jay's Bikes about coming out and being our vendor, and he currently only wants to do 1 day a week and special events, and we feel like we've got to have a little more than that. And we also feel like doing it now in the fall and winter is not the time to gauge how much business he could potentially have. So we're going to put the idea on hold for now, but we are still going to sell our t-shirts and hats and stuff out of there like we would have anyway. And we're going to try to staff it with our seasonal, who is, I got an amazing seasonal. I got to brag on him every time I talk about him. Volunteers from the Friends group, and we just got someone that wants to be an intern. So we're going to try to sell our shirts and hats and stuff that way and see how that works out. I really think if this works out and we can sell enough stuff, we could reconsider the whole pro shop idea. So I think we can sell enough stuff out of there to do what we want to do. But we've got to get it set up, get a little more merchandise ordered. We got some good ideas for some Christmas ideas, which you can about imagine. And I think it's going to be good. So get a hold of Jerry and tell him we're going to put it on hold till spring and then go then.
Maybe they can put your picture on the front of the sweatshirts.
Well, that's kind of what we're working on.
If we,
That's one of them.
if we get rats in the building, that'll be okay.
But yeah, that's kind of what we're going to try for the fall and the winter, and then springtime revisit it and see. Because Jerry's interested in 1 day. He's just not sure how much time he can spend out there and how much it'll help him. So.
So you're gonna have like mini concessions?
Oh yeah, yeah. We were going to do that anyway. So yeah, sodas and the stuff that we're supposed to eat, not the stuff that I like to eat. I'll have Tabby help me with that.
I don't.
It says that Jerry's going to be, you said Jerry's only wanting to do 1 day a week.
Yeah.
But it says here he needs to make $1,000 a month. That's a whole bunch of money in one day.
Yes, it is.
250.
Well, that's why we're backtracking off of that, doing it all ourselves. Yeah. So for last month, we had an agreement, a draft to look at Jerry through Jay's Bikes to come in as our pro shop vendor, hoping the original thought was 2 days a week, Saturday, Sunday, and events, special events. Since then, he really would rather only do 1 day a week. They're all kind of nervous about what they'd make in October, November, December. So our best idea moving forward right now is just to run it ourselves, see what we can do, get our feet going, and then either continue to do it ourselves if this thing takes off, or have the option later to have a vendor come in and do the full out pro shop idea. Right now, Rich and part-timer and different people can do general maintenance, clean a sprocket, put on a chain for somebody, needs that people would have while they're right there.
Mainly broken chains and flat tires.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna run into.
So
We can do that.
everything would be run through our Camp Spot POS system, for, you can inventory all your items. As you sell items, comes off your inventory, and then you can quickly click 30 days. What did you make this month? What did you make that week? You can highlight only weekends. It'd be really easy to go back and figure out what we sold, how much, and what, was it profitable? So, does anybody have any issue with that direction? I think it's our only direction right now, so.
That makes sense, though. I mean, that's hard to do like the summer months.
Yeah. I think it has substantial potential in the summertime when we get the reservations going for the community hall. When you've got a lot of birthday parties and I think it's going to be wildly popular, and they're going to have a lot of people in and out of that building on weekends. That's when I think it's highly profitable for somebody to be there. But go ahead.
We're talking about, Marty and I are talking about putting a rental program in for the bikes. He works Sundays anyway, so he's willing to be there and take the bikes back in. I can get them out. I can't get them brought back in. He's willing to step up and do that, so it may work out well.
Sometime before October 17th, we'll have operational hours set where right now 8 to 4 Monday through Friday is easy enough. Trying to figure out any evening hours, weekend hours, we'll have to work with that, see what we've got, how many hours we can dedicate, and see when it'll be open. But we'll have some kind of more set hours closer to opening date. So. All right, any questions? All right, that is it for old business. All right, so we've had a lot of dog bite issues over the last couple of years, as everybody's well aware. 1 or 2 impending litigation. For the last couple of years, we've went to a zero tolerance policy. The county ordinance is dogs got to be on a leash, not running around. So through employee training, we tell everybody you cannot go past a dog that's off a leash and just walk past, not say anything. I feel like we'd be negligent at that point. And we've had, 5 incidents a year plus with dog bites or aggression of some kind. So we've already instituted that zero tolerance policy. This year in our adopted policies, we added the animals involved in an attack must be quarantined per state law. Now, we don't quarantine that animal, but by state law, if they bite someone, that animal's supposed to be quarantined. We try to work with law enforcement and the individual that owns the dog to make sure that happens for the individual that was attacked. That's kind of it's a tough situation for us. But we also added that policy in there that if a pet becomes a nuisance or a danger in the park or campground or to patrons due to excessive barking, destruction of Eagle County property, intimidation, etc., the camper will be required to remove the pet from the campgrounds immediately. If any animal is removed, the owner is required to leave as well. A lot of issues surrounding whether or not that dog has to leave, somebody's got to go with the dog, whether or not that animal actually leaves. So that is our policy right now, as adopted this year, is if that animal is in violation of our park policies were county ordinance, they're removed as well, just like any other violation of our policy. The reason we combined a couple lines in there to make it a little clearer. We cleaned up. It's the same policy. We just combined the two different bullet points that say if it's a nuisance or a danger, it'll be removed, and if the animal is removed, the owner will be required to leave as well. We combine those into one bullet point, so it's not confusing for anybody trying to read those bullet points. It's the same policy, it's just combined in two different bullets there. The other reason why we did that was Michaela gets a ton of phone calls weekly this time of year for refund requests or you name it. You know, it happens way, way less than it did 3 years ago. But still every week we get requests, and every once in a while we get requests that are a little more pushy, we'll say. And I field those most 99% of the time. I take care of those, and it usually doesn't go any further. We've had one recently that said they're going to have a letter sent by their attorney, yada, yada, yada. Well, I don't know that that's really going to happen, but just wanted to let you guys know. You know, we removed somebody due to an aggressive dog. They wanted a refund. That's not our policy. I've discussed it with Abby right after the incident and just wanted to confirm after somebody throws out the word attorney. I like to make sure all of our I's are dotted, that is indeed our policy. I told said individuals if they'd like to write a letter to the board, they want to come to a meeting, you know, that is the end of the road there. So I've not seen a letter. Obviously nobody's here today, but if we get a letter, if the board gets a letter, I told them who to address it to. That is the reason for that policy. You could reserve that site in February, hold that site until you were kicked out. The other general population didn't have an opportunity to reserve that campsite, and then you were removed because of a violation. I don't feel like you refund the money for a county ordinance violation. In this particular instance, the dog rifled out of somebody's camper, bit another dog on its neck, and some other commotion happened. So at that point, I feel like you're in violation of a couple different policies and one county ordinance. The rule is what it is. There's no refund or credit to be given, and it's in black and white in our policy. So if there's any issue with that, let me know, and we can address in a different way, or we can continue on down the road we're on right now. We try to make the policy as uniform as possible, that it's easy for our staff to read. There's no question at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning when this happens, we don't have to make 10 phone calls to figure out, well, what are we going to do with this person? You know, from the change from last year or 2 years ago, we said if it was excessive barking, they could remove the animal, but we didn't necessarily say that they didn't have to leave. It got to be confusing, you know, trying to figure out how you're going to enforce the policy of a barking dog versus an aggressive dog versus if the dog has to go, you got to go. That's just an easier. You should know if your animal's going to be an issue around other people. So, all right, we'll keep it the same. I have no issue dealing with issues like this as long as everybody's on the same page and we know exactly what we're enforcing. So, and it makes Michaela's job a lot easier when people call because she's the first one to get it. So, all right, well that solves that. Now the last couple things, budget. The budget will be voted on first reading, I believe, is in October. I'm hearing, I think, our part-timers could go to $18 an hour as requested, which would be an awesome thing and opportunity for our part-time year-round employees. Those were, 5? I believe we've got 5 part-time year-round employees that are here year-round. Most of them are here years. Some of them have been here 5, 6 years. they're trained individuals that run equipment and do essentially a lot of the tasks that our full-time do. There needed to be disparity between a seasonal, a part-time, year-round, and our full-time. So hopefully this year through the budget cycle, we'll address that issue, which will thrill our part-time, year-round, I'm sure, and reward them for not only being here for years, but also invest in that training in that individual as well. So we'll see. There's nothing voted on, so we'll see what happens come October. Any questions about that? Last thing I've got here is an agreement that is a lease agreement for park board use that needs to be signed by commissioners and also council. I've not quite had a lease agreement like this, first time I've been down this road, but we've been talking about an agreement of some kind coming for our disc golf course to be able to utilize that property and also the trail system. There's a couple changes. I've got this out to Michael Wright, the council attorney, our attorney as well. Make sure there's nothing I'm missing, make sure they're good with it before it's presented to council. But they wanted both the commissioners to sign as a majority and the council have a representative sign. There's a couple changes, the date needs changed, and a couple points of clarification. But that's one of the clarification points that I'm gonna ask. I believe technically we're a subsidiary of the county commissioners, if I word that correctly. If the commissioners sign it and you guys approve the project, I think we're covered under that general recreational umbrella. But I will inquire just that. Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't see that either. I will ask that as well. Right, and the existing trails that are on that said property.
So I guess that was just my only thing, that only when he talks about the existing trails.
I'm gonna clarify. I believe that it could be the situation where the course is really a trail that people are walking, but I'll find out. So. Mm. Mhm. And it could be such a thing when it comes out, it may, the least it would be a year to year with not necessarily have to re-sign, but the option if so chosen to terminate, which we have another lease agreement like that's every other year. Is what we're currently doing with that landowner. As long as nobody sends a letter, the agreement is still in place. Yeah. I believe we wanted to hit the fiscal body and everybody. Would it be an option, I believe, to vote in support of this agreement with the addition of a board president signature to review changes? So I think we know going in this that it's going to be at least a year to year. Could be longer. I don't know what the intent was. But I don't think, my feeling is we're not gonna pull the plug on the project if it's a year to year. I think we'll be okay. I think, if the board president reviews the changes and assign a date, change the effective date, and have the president's signature, I feel like is at that point, that is the document that we needed.
All in favor? Opposed?
All right, I believe that's all I have. Yes, that's all I have for today.
Anybody have anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much.